Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, whatever. Something just came to mind right now. I was on YouTube like I am quite often, and I was watching this video in regards to the rating system as far as the Nightmare on Elm Street films are concerned, which is fine. We all have our personal separate opinions. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Um, but this one got my attention. I've seen a few others before throughout the years, but this one got my attention. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to my man, Cody Leach. Because this is the one, for whatever reason, I decided to respond to. Okay. So there's 9 Elm Street films, and he mentioned it himself, and I actually agree with him. For whatever reason, the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Freddy Krueger just happens to be my favorite character. The Elm Street series just happens to be my favorite, one of those movies to watch, whichever installment it may just be, okay? And he did the rating system, which I was listening to, because I listen to people and I pay attention to just about everything, so I'm listening to him. And here's what I got. Okay. He said number 9 was Freddy's Dead. For those of you that do not know, Freddy's Dead is basically Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. Freddy's Dead. See, I'm the type of check it out. I'm the type of person where it's like, I'm pretty positive for the most part. And I look for the best things I could possibly find out of a certain situation or a certain anything that I could possibly do. Freddy's Dead, was it a good movie? Not really. But for what it was good for, it was okay. And I'm a Nightmare on Elm Street fan. So it was okay. There were some things about it I was okay with, Spencer's death and Carlos's death, I could go on about that, Carlos's death to me was funny. Spencer's death was funny also. I don't want to spend too much time on that because a lot of people that have seen the movie and are familiar with the song, they already know what it is. They already know the history behind it. So I'll just move on I'll just move on beyond that. Let's just do that. I'll just move on beyond that. In the number 8 spot was Dream Child. For those of you that do not know, Dream Child is actually Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. No, I don't think it was the greatest movie either, but it was okay. But not the greatest movie, no. No, not to say it sucked, but for me as a fan, it was not the greatest movie. It was just like, okay. It was just like, okay, whatever. Okay. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. It was just, that, and to me, that reaction right there is just like, okay, yeah, this was not a super dope, great movie. It was okay. It was just like, all right, fine. I mean, Freddy was entertaining, but what do you do? So let's move on. Number 7 on the list was The Nightmare on Elm Street Remake. Now, for those of you that have not seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street, just maybe, you have not seen the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I've seen both. The Nightmare on Elm Street remake was okay. It was okay. I mean, it really was okay. You got my man Jackie Earle Haley playing Freddy Krueger in the remake, which I'm a big fan of him from Watchmen. It was okay. It was okay. I don't think it was terrible. It was okay. Do I think it was better than the original Nightmare on Elm Street? Absolutely not. No. No way. But I don't think it was a sucky film. To me, it wasn't that special. It wasn't that special. And then what you got following after that was Rated, what was it? Rated number 6. You got The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Huh. Um, I'm not surprised by this. You know what? Me personally, I feel like this movie gets a bad rap for whatever reason. I feel like it gets a bad rap. I personally enjoy the film, and people talk all this gay stuff and this, that, da, 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 da. Why don't you just be real? Stop being pussy. Just say, okay, you think it's homosexual or something like that. You think it's same sex implicated or encouraging or something like that. Don't be pussy. Just say what you think it is. I didn't think that about the film at all, and at the same time, I don't care. But I didn't think that about the film at all. I think it's a good film, and I think the majority of the criticism that it received was because it was so different from the original Nightmare on Elm Street film, which it was. It was very different and wasn't bad, but it was different. It was very different. You didn't have Nancy returning. You had none of the original characters, surviving characters, which I guess was Nancy. You didn't have anything from the first Nightmare on Elm Street film returning to the second Nightmare on Elm Street film, and I think a lot that probably irritated a lot of people because you know how people are. They're all sensitive about their lives, even if it's in a movie. So it's just like, okay, whatever. But overall, I think Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge was cool. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was, oh my goodness. It was a trip. To me, it was just a trip. To me, it was just a trip. It was like, wow, is this really happening? Like, it was a trip. And a lot of super enthusiasts or whatever want to talk that crap. They like, yeah, well, how could Freddy be at a pool party, live action with real people that are awake and this, that, da, 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 da. It's like, you know what, that sounds really good. But I guess I understood. It's like, okay, he's supposed to be in Jesse's body. Jesse's alive. Jesse's awake. So that's why he was able to go to the pool party and slash people. Okay, I understand that. Did I personally care? No, I still do not. But I figured that's what it was about. I mean, the movie itself, overall, to me, was okay. It's like, alright, whatever. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, alright, whatever. What came next after that? You got The Dream Master. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Personally, me, myself, Dream Master is my favorite film installment throughout the series because I just thought Dream Master was so dope. I just thought it was so dope. Like, I enjoyed watching it as a kid. Like, I enjoyed it. And I was never the type of kid to get scared by horror flicks. You got the wrong person. I loved it. I loved it. I was like, this is so crazy. It's so dope. I was like, wow. And I'm a Freddy Krueger fan anyway. So I was just like, yo, I love this. This is what's up. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. Thought it was a great film. Do I think it was the best film? No. But I liked a lot about this film. I really did like a lot about this film. And then after that comes, what's the rating? The New Nightmare. The New Nightmare. I saw The New Nightmare in the theater. I liked it. I was okay with it. But, one of the things that I liked about Freddy Krueger is the fact that he has a sense of humor before he kills somebody or whatever. I like that about Freddy Krueger. A lot of people, I suppose, do not like that about Freddy Krueger. But I like that about him. I was like, this guy is a character. He'll say some funny crap and then he'll gut you. So, good for him. Um, the movie is a little darker than most Elm Street films. The movie is a little darker, which I had no problem with the film, but it was just like it's a little darker, and Freddy didn't really have a sense of humor. He was just on some other stuff, which I didn't quite understand. I mean, I get it. Wes Craven, this was his original idea, his original thought, so you got to give props to that. But and I'm not crapping on it at all. I'm just saying, sometimes his sense of humor did help him and benefit him in a good way. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. And then what comes after this? What's that? Freddy vs. You rate Freddy vs. Oh my gosh. You rate Freddy vs. Jason over. You rate Freddy vs. Jason at this slot. That's all I got to say about that right now. You rate Freddy vs. Jason at this slot. The movie was good. The movie was good. No, it would not be my first selection at all. But the movie was good. It wasn't bad. It didn't suck. But Freddy vs. Jason, I mean, would not be my first pick. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the movie was bad. It was not bad. It was just like, at the point for me personally, I was just like, so what? You know, because nothing special to me really happened in the film. It was just like, oh my goodness gracious. Let's continue to move on. Okay, and then after that, you got rated at number 2 on the 9 slot list for Elm Street films. You got the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which I kind of agree with. I always said, it's not the best film, but if it ain't the best, it's probably a close second. The original Nightmare on Elm Street to me was really dope, really awesome, creepy, scary. Well, not scary to me, just creepy. I'm a bad example when it comes to this. It was definitely creepy. It was definitely creepy. Another film that Wes Craven wrote it and directed, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? So that should tell you something also. Just awesome flick. We got to see Johnny Depp, which I know him from 21 Jump Street when I was a kid. It was like, wow. Like, very good film. Very awesome. Creepy. It's cool that Freddy was hardly in the damn film to begin with. But just the idea of him himself just made it so great and amazing. Okay, whatever. And of course, the film picked at number 1 would be The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors, which is my first pick also. I just think Part 3 was awesome. Part 1 was dope. Like I said, Part 1 would be a close second. Part 2, no. Part 3, I just felt like Part 3 was awesome. I felt like it just had so much to offer that was interesting, entertaining, and I also felt like Part 3 was the first time that we as the general public got to see Freddy's face in the light, which some people may not see that as true, if you're thinking about Part 1 and Part 2. Okay, I can understand that. But I felt like Part 3 was the first movie where you actually got to see Freddy straight up with the light on his face. You actually got to see Freddy, which of course I guess I suppose he does become a pop icon or whatever you want to call him. I think it was awesome. I loved it. The kills were like, okay. Very good film, very entertaining film. I'm glad. Oh, wow. Wow. That's why for me, it's easy for me to look at that joint ahead of the original Nightmare on Elm Street film. Part 4 is my favorite, but I don't quite think it's better than Part 3. So that's all I'm saying. If you got something to say about that, then say it. It's a free country, it's a free life, the way that I'm concerned, and I'm just saying that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think.